The last exam paper left her hand, a projectile of finished responsibility. PUBI practically danced out of the examination hall, a giddy lightness filling her chest. Years of relentless study, late nights fueled by coffee and anxiety, all culminating in this, a glorious, exhilarating freedom. The weight that had been a constant companion on her shoulders for so long was gone, replaced by an eagerness to truly live. The world stretched before her, an unpainted canvas, and she, the artist, held the brush, ready to splash it with vibrant colors. Night found her in a pulsating club, the rhythmic thump of the music vibrating through her very being. Shedding her worries and shedding her inhibitions, she moved with an abandon she hadn't known she possessed. Each spin, each sway was a celebration, a joyous expression of liberation. She was a whirlwind of energy, a kaleidoscope of laughter and unrestrained joy. Strangers' faces blurred into an anonymous, exhilarating mass, their cheers blending with the music, creating a symphony of pure, unadulterated joy. This was her night, her victory dance. The throbbing in her head wasn't the rhythmic pulse of the club. This was a dull, persistent ache, a stark contrast to the vibrant memory of freedom that seemed both a lifetime and a heartbeat away. Opening her eyes was a mistake, the light assaulting her with a ferocity that sent a fresh wave of nausea rolling through her. She was in her apartment, the air stale and heavy. Gone was the intoxicating energy of the night before, replaced by a chilling emptiness that seemed to seep from the very walls. The events of the previous night, so vivid in her mind, now seemed like a cruel trick of her memory. A wave of dizziness forced her back onto the pillow, the room tilting precariously. As her vision swam, she became aware of a weight beside her, a warmth that sent a shiver down her spine. Charlie. He was supposed to be gone, out on a photography assignment. He stirred in his sleep, his name a whisper on her lips. Why was he here? A sudden, inexplicable fear clawed at her, a sense of wrongness settling like a lead weight in the pit of her stomach. Something was terribly, terribly wrong. Section 5. The weight of betrayal. With a Herculean effort, she pushed herself up, each movement sending shards of pain through her skull. A discarded newspaper caught her eye, its headline screaming a truth so monstrous, so inconceivable, that it felt like a physical blow. Charlie, dead. The words echoed in the cavernous emptiness of her being, each syllable a hammer blow to her already shattered sanity. The man she loved, the man sleeping so peacefully beside her, was gone, murdered. But how? And why was he here in her bed when he was supposed to be... Section 6. Facing the abyss. Her gaze fell on the bedside table, a single photograph face down, almost mocking her with its silent accusation. With trembling fingers she reached out, flipping it over. The world stopped. Her breath hitched in her throat, a strangled sob escaping her lips. It was Charlie, his arm slung possessively around a woman she'd never seen before. They were both smiling, the woman's left hand prominently displaying a dazzling diamond ring. An engagement ring. The engagement ring Charlie had promised her. The ring he was supposed to propose with the night she celebrated her freedom. Section 7. The echo of laughter. Memories flooded her, each one now tainted with the bitter taste of betrayal. His whispered words of love, his promises of a future together, all a carefully constructed facade. And she, blinded by love, by trust, had fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker. The laughter of the night before, her own joy, now seemed a cruel mockery, a celebration of a freedom that had come at a devastating price. Her dance of liberation had been a dance on the edge of an abyss, and she, oblivious, had waltzed right in. Section 8. A bitter farewell. He stirred again beside her, his name escaping her lips in a choked whisper. This time it wasn't a question, but an accusation, a lament. The weight of his betrayal was a physical entity now, crushing her, suffocating her. She had to get out, away from him, away from the suffocating truth that clung to her like a shroud. But her limbs felt heavy, her body a leaden weight anchored to the bed, to him, to the lie they had built together. Section 9. A final, silent plea. Her gaze fell on the empty bottle of pills on the nightstand, a cruel reminder of the escape she craved. It would be so easy, wouldn't it? to slip back into the oblivion of sleep, to silence the screaming in her soul. With a final shuddering breath, she reached for the bottle, her fingers tracing the contours of the label. Her eyes, filled with unshed tears, met his in the photograph, a silent plea for understanding, for forgiveness. Then, with a heart full of ashes, she closed her eyes.